You know that feeling, right? That awful, uncomfortable burning sensation, maybe that sour taste,
Yeah.
or just, yeah, that general digestive upset that can just wreck a good meal, or honestly, your whole day
Yeah.
sometimes.
It's something so many people deal with.
Exactly. So today we're doing a deep dive into acid reflux and GERD. We want to unpack what's actually causing them
Right.
and look at this really interesting approach from the Acid Reflux Escape Plan. It suggests, managing things through a pretty comprehensive lifestyle and diet plan.
Mm-hmm. More than just popping pills.
Totally. Our mission today is really to give you some practical insights, maybe some strategies you can use to hopefully ease those symptoms and get some real control over your digestive health, moving beyond just the quick fixes.
And we're mainly drawing from the Acid Reflux Escape Plan for this discussion. It's got a lot of good stuff in it.
It really does. Okay, so let's start with the basics. Acid reflux, or GER. What exactly is happening in the body?
Okay, so it's a really common issue, and understanding the core mechanics is definitely the first step. Acid reflux GER. It happens when stomach acid basically goes the wrong way.
The wrong way.
Yeah. So normally you've got this amazing muscular ring, right? The lower esophageal sphincter, or LES. Think of it like a one-way valve.
Okay.
It's meant to close up tight, keep everything that's in your stomach. But when that valve isn't working quite right,
Uh-huh.
acid flows back up into your esophagus. And here's the key thing.
Uh,
Unlike your stomach, your esophagus just isn't built to handle that strong acid. It's not protected.
okay, so that burning feeling,
Yeah.
that's literally your esophagus getting hit with acid it can't handle.
Precisely.
You can almost picture that LES like as a gate, right? When
Yeah.
it's working, a solid barrier. When it messes up, the gate swings open, lets the chaos through.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
So, okay, if that's occasional acid reflux, GER,
Yeah,
what makes it GERD? What's the difference?
right. The key difference really comes down to persistence and frequency, how often it's happening.
Okay.
So if you're getting those acid reflux symptoms, more than twice a week, and it's been going on for several weeks, that's usually when it gets diagnosed as GERD,
Mm-hmm.
gastroesophageal reflux disease.
Got it. So it's moved from just an annoying occasional thing to something more chronic.
Exactly. It signals that it's a chronic condition that, probably needs more consistent attention.
And what makes that valve, that LES, what makes it weaken? Or why does this whole system start to malfunction in the first place? What are the sort of underlying factors for GERD?
Well, the sources point to several key things.
Mm.
A weakened LES muscle itself is, a primary cause,
Yeah.
often due to physical changes.
Okay.
Then there's increased pressure in your abdomen. That's another really common one.
Like from being overweight or...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Obesity, pregnancy, those are big factors. And interestingly, certain medications can contribute too.
Really? Which ones?
Things like antihistamines, common painkillers, sedatives, antidepressants, even some asthma meds and calcium channel blockers.
Wow, that's quite a list. Things people take every day.
It is. And of course, smoking is a really big contributor. That definitely weakens the LES. Oh, and hiatal hernias too.
Right, where part of the stomach pushes up?
Yeah, pushes up through the diaphragm into the chest area.
Yeah.
That can definitely cause issues.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, here's something that I think is really interesting and maybe a bit counterintuitive for a lot of us. We always think of stomach acid as the bad guy here, right? Something to get rid of.
Mm.
But it's actually super important for our health, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's crucial. That highly acidic environment in your stomach, it's vital, is how we break down proteins properly,
Okay.
which our cells then use for, well, countless functions. It's a fundamental part of digestion. You can't just get rid of it.
Right.
However, while the stomach is perfectly designed for this acid, other parts of your body, like the esophagus, definitely are not.
Not protected.
Not at all. And that's precisely why chronic reflux isn't just uncomfortable. It can have really serious long-term consequences.
Like what?
Well, persistent GERD over time has been linked to some serious complications, including esophageal cancer.
Wow.
And what's really concerning there is that it can start without any symptoms. You might not know it's happening.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah. And by the time symptoms do show up, like maybe difficulty swallowing, it's often progressed quite a bit. So it really highlights why managing GERD isn't just about feeling better day to day.
That's a really powerful point. It's not just comfort, it's about long-term health, preventing really serious stuff down the road.
Exactly.
So, okay, when people do look for relief, medications are often the first stop. Let's talk about those. Starting with antacids, the common ones you grab over the counter. How do they work and what's the catch?
Right, antacids. They give you that quick temporary relief because they directly neutralize the stomach acid that's already there.
So, instant fix for the burn.
Pretty much, yeah. Fast fix. But the Acid Reflux Escape Plan talks about something it calls a dependency loop.
Okay, dependency.
Yeah. The insight here is that while they help right away, your body can kind of adapt to this neutralization. It often responds by producing even more acid to compensate.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So you end up in this cycle where you might need more and more antacids just to get the same effect. It's a short-term fix that could actually, make the underlying problem worse over time.
Wow. So, trying to put out the fire, you might actually be adding fuel in the long run. That sounds like a real trap.
It can be. Yeah.
And are there other downsides, side effects from relying on them?
Oh, sure. Depending on the type, antacids can cause things like diarrhea or constipation. Taking a lot of them or using them long-term might also lead to more serious things like kidney stones or even issues with bone mineralization.
Hmm.
And they can definitely interfere with other medications you might be taking. So you got to be careful.
That's really important to know. Okay, so if antacids have this potential dependency loop, what about the next step up, like H2 blockers? Things like Zantac, Pepcid, are they different?
They are. H2 blockers work differently. Instead of just neutralizing the acid that's there, they actually block the signals that tell your stomach to produce acid in the first place.
Ah, okay, so they reduce the amount being made.
Exactly. Usually take them, say, 30 to 90 minutes before you eat. And they can help with symptoms for, up to maybe 24 hours.
That sounds better, longer lasting.
It can be. But like antacids, they're not without their own issues. Side effects can include headaches, diarrhea, dizziness, sometimes a rash, and again, potential drug interactions you need to be aware of.
Right. Still not a perfect solution then.
Well, no medication really is usually.
Okay, and then we get to the sort of heavy hitters, proton pump inhibitors,
Yeah.
PPIs. These seem to be the main prescription treatment for GERD, right?
They are, yeah. PPIs are definitely a leading treatment. They're very effective at reducing acid production.
But what's the bigger picture view on using them long term? Is there a downside there too?
There can be. If we connect this to the bigger picture, yeah, long-term use of PPIs isn't risk-free. One major concern is something called rebound acid hypersecretion.
Rebound, meaning?
Meaning, when you eventually stop taking the PPI, your stomach can actually go into overdrive and start producing even more acid than it did before you started the medication.
Oh, wow. So it makes it hard to stop taking them.
It can, yeah. So while they offer powerful relief, often people end up using them for a very long time just to manage symptoms, rather than getting to the root cause of the reflux itself.
It really sounds like a pattern with these medications. They help, yes, but they can also create new problems or keep the cycle going.
That's a fair assessment in many cases. They have their place,
Yeah.
definitely, but maybe not as the only answer.
So, if just relying on meds isn't the whole picture, how does someone start to figure out their own situation? How do you assess your own symptoms and maybe work towards something more comprehensive?
Yeah, that raises a really important question. How do you get good information about your specific condition, right? Because everyone's different.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, one really valuable tool the plan highlights is the Reflux Symptom Index, the RSI.
RSI.
Yeah, it was developed by Dr. Jamie Kaufman and Dr. Jordan Stern. It's basically a self-assessment tool. It's got 9 questions where you rate your GERD symptoms over the last month, scale of 0 to 5.
Okay, simple enough.
Pretty simple. And the insight is if your total score is over 13, it suggests you probably do have GER. The plan encourages you to maybe try following their 2-week escape plan and then take the test again to see if your score changes.
Ah, so you can track your progress.
Exactly. And it's also super useful for figuring out your personal triggers after you've maybe tested some different foods for a few days.
That sounds really empowering, actually, a way to take some control of yourself.
It really is.
Okay, so beyond that self-assessment, what about working with your doctor for, like, a formal diagnosis? Because you mentioned earlier, GERD can sometimes seem like other things.
Precisely. That's one of the biggest challenges. GERD symptoms can easily mimic things like sinus problems or allergies, which is why keeping a detailed journal is so crucial. Write down your symptoms, when they happen, how long they last, how bad they are. Give that info to your doctor.
So they have real data to work with.
Exactly. Objective data. And based on that and your history, your doctor might suggest some diagnostic tests to really confirm if it's GERD or rule out other things.
What kinds of tests are we talking about? More involved things?
Some can be, yeah. There's acid monitoring, sometimes called an ambulatory acid probe test.
Okay.
That monitors the pH levels in your esophagus, usually over 24 hours. They can do it with a tiny chip placed during an endoscopy, or sometimes the thin tube through your nose. Both are outpatient things.
Oh, okay. What else?
Then there are x-rays. You'd swallow a special liquid, and they watch how it moves through your upper digestive system.
Standard procedure.
Pretty standard. And endoscopy is common, too. That's where they use a thin, flexible tube with a camera, put it down your throat to look directly at your esophagus, stomach, and the start of your small intestine.
And they can take samples then, too.
Yeah, they can take little tissue samples, biopsies if needed. Usually only takes about 5 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
And finally, there's something called esophageal manometry that actually measures the muscle contractions in your esophagus using a thin tube passed through your nose.
Wow. Okay, so quite a few ways to get a clear picture.
Yeah, these tests really help paint a clear picture, getting beyond just the symptoms you report. Make sure you're treating the right thing.
Definitely. So once you have that clearer picture, what does the Acid Reflux Escape Plan actually propose? Let's get into the lifestyle and diet strategies, starting with this idea of empowered eating. What does that mean?
Right, empowered eating. It starts with understanding pH, but not like, high school chemistry.
Haha, good.
It's more about understanding that your stomach is meant to be super acidic, like a pH of 2, roughly.
Yeah.
But your esophagus, definitely not.
Great, we established that.
So the escape plan really focuses on how different foods can either calm things down or really aggravate that delicate balance in your esophagus. It's about guiding you towards foods that keep things more neutral, more comfortable internally.
So knowing which foods are acidic, which are alkaline, and how they affect you.
Exactly. Knowing where foods fall on that spectrum and how they interact with your body specifically.
And the plan talks about personalization too, right? Because not everyone reacts the same way to, say, tomatoes or citrus.
Absolutely. That's key. The plan really encourages you to make adjustments based on your own intolerances or allergies.
Yeah.
Like if you can't do dairy, use non-fat rice milk. If you have issues with wheat or gluten, try sweet rice flour. It's all about finding what works for you.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about cravings? Those always seem to sabotage things when you try to change how you eat. How does the plan address that?
Oh yeah, cravings are definitely a hurdle. The plan breaks it down a bit. If it's a physical addiction, think caffeine, alcohol, cigarettes, it strongly advises working with your doctor. You need a proper medically managed plan for those.
Right. Don't just go cold turkey.
Definitely not with some things. For coffee, or caffeine for example, it suggests tapering off slowly. Like mix half decaf with your regular coffee, then gradually reduce the regular over a few weeks. Less shock to the system.
Smart.
And a little tip it includes: avoid mint-flavored nicotine gum if you're quitting smoking.
Why mint?
Because mint itself can actually trigger heartburn for some people, something many don't realize.
Huh. Interesting. Okay, so that's physical cravings. What about just wanting chocolate? Or pizza? Emotional cravings?
Yeah, the emotional or mental ones. For those, the advice is often simpler, though maybe not easier. Try to just wait it out. Often, those cravings will actually pass after a little while if you can distract yourself.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Tell me about it. But it's a
Okay.
strategy.
Okay, so beyond what you eat, what about how you live? Daily habits. Because diet alone isn't usually the whole fix, right?
Not at all. Lifestyle's huge. Stress management is a really big one. There was a study back in 2004 that clearly showed life stresses can increase how often and how badly GERD flares up.
I believe it. Stress affects everything.
It really does. So the plan suggests things like meditation, deep breathing exercises, gentle stretching, maybe yoga.
Yoga. Isn't some of that upside down?
Good point. Yeah, caution is needed there. Avoid any inverted postures, especially right before or soon after eating, as that could definitely trigger reflux.
Okay, makes sense. What else?
Your posture, just sitting and standing up straight. It sounds simple, but it supports your LES, helps keep stomach contents down. Slouching. That increases pressure in your abdomen, basically encouraging reflux.
I can totally picture that. Slouching just squishes everything upwards.
Exactly. Another simple but effective one, elevating the head of your bed. Just a few inches can make a big difference in preventing reflux while you sleep.
Right, gravity helps.
Gravity is your friend there. And quitting smoking, if you smoke, that's absolutely crucial. Smoking really messes with the LES function.
Okay. What about how we eat?
Mindful eating, also key. Slow down. Enjoy your meal. Eating too quickly builds up that abdominal pressure. A practical tip is to literally practice putting your fork down between bites.
Forces you to pause.
It does. And tied into that is keeping a food log. Track what you eat, when, and any symptoms you have. This is how you become your own detective, figuring out your personal triggers.
That food logging seems super practical, like gathering your own evidence.
It's incredibly empowering, yeah.
So you see patterns.
Any other daily tips the plan throws in?
Yeah, a few more good ones. Be mindful of when you exercise. Like, don't go for a jog right after a big meal. A gentle walk is usually fine, but high impact might cause issues.
Right. Let things settle first.
Exactly. Prioritize sleep. Aim for 7 to 8 hours. Being sleep deprived ramps up stress, and we already know stress is bad for reflux.
Vicious cycle. Totally. And finally, kind of related to stress, enjoy life. Make time for activities you genuinely love. It's a fantastic stress remedy, which in turn helps your reflux. It's all connected.
That's a nice holistic touch. Okay, so we've covered home-based daily routines, but what about the real world? Eating out, holidays, that's where things get tough. You're at a party, everything looks amazing, but you know it's trouble. How does the plan help you navigate that without feeling totally left out?
Yeah, that's a perfect real-world challenge. The plan calls it defensive dining.
Ah, I like that.
It's fitting, right? So when eating out, the key is planning ahead. Look up menus online beforehand. Don't be afraid to call the restaurant and explain your dietary needs. Most places are pretty accommodating these days.
Okay, pre-planning.
Yep. And here's a strategic tip it offers. If you know you're likely going to give in to something tempting, maybe consider taking an H2 blocker 30 to 90 minutes before that meal. It can provide a bit of a buffer.
Tactical move.
A tactical move, exactly. For holidays, which can be food minefields.
Tell me about it.
Consider hosting yourself. That way you control the menu. Or, if you're going somewhere, offer to bring a dish or two that you know are safe for you. That way you're contributing, and you guarantee you have something good to eat.
Smart. Be proactive, have options.
Exactly. It's about making sure you don't feel deprived or constantly battling temptation without a plan.
This all sounds like, well, it sounds like a real commitment, a genuine lifestyle shift, not just a temporary diet. What does the plan say about staying motivated? Because symptoms might not vanish overnight.
That's a really important point. It is a commitment. The plan emphasizes getting your family and friends on board. Explain why you're making these changes, especially if you share meals often. Their support can make a huge difference.
Yeah, having backup helps.
Definitely. And it stresses that this is a lifestyle change, not a quick fix. The idea of long-term change can feel daunting at first, for sure. But the key insight, the motivation booster, is that your drive will likely grow as you start feeling better. As the symptoms decrease, you'll naturally want to stick with what's working. It's about committing to this new way, understanding that consistent effort leads to that lasting relief and just a better quality of life.
Right. The positive results become the motivation.
Precisely.
Okay, so let's get practical. What does this actually look like on a plate? The plan doesn't just give rules, right? It offers recipes. Give us some examples that show this isn't about bland, boring food.
Oh, absolutely not bland. That's a key message. The plan really debunks that myth. It shows how you can use ingredients like ginger, lean proteins, herbs, specific cooking methods,
Yeah.
all to create really flavorful meals that are still reflux-friendly.
Okay, examples, like for breakfast.
Sure. For breakfast or brunch, you've got things like a melon smoothie, cool and soothing, or maple spice oatmeal, even French toast.
French toast, how does that work? Isn't it usually rich?
Well, the plan's version is clever. It uses alcohol-free vanilla extract, maybe some citrus zest for brightness instead of acidic juice, and non-fat milk. So you get the flavor without the triggers.
Ah, smart swaps. Okay, I see. What about snacks or main meals?
For snacks, think simple but tasty. Maybe apples with a honey yogurt dip, or baked sweet potato chips. The chips are great because they're fat-free. You basically dehydrate them, but still get nice and crispy.
Baked chips sound good. Main meals.
For main meals, you might see something like avocado and mushroom tacos, or ginger chicken and rice soup. Ginger is specifically highlighted as being good for calming reflux.
Right, ginger is known for that.
Yeah. Or savory turkey burgers that use things like mushrooms to build that savory umami flavor without relying on a lot of fat. It's about strategic flavor building.
Okay, cool. But sauces and dressings, those often seem like hidden traps full of fat or acid.
That's such a great point. They often are. The plan tackles those too. It has recipes for reflux-friendly sauces and dressings, like an orange honey Dijon dressing that finds that balance of sweet and tangy, or a creamy ranch dressing. It even gives a tip on using Parmesan instead of maybe other cheeses if dairy is tricky for you.
Nice. Adapting classics.
Exactly. Smart swaps, careful flavor pairings, it's all thought through.
And dessert. Please tell me there's dessert. A lot of people think that's totally off limits.
Definitely not off limits.
Yeah.
The plan has some lovely desserts, things like honeydew sorbet, creamy cantaloupe ice pops. Very refreshing. Even a coffee granita.
Coffee. Isn't caffeine a trigger?
Huh. But this one cleverly uses a decaf coffee base, so you get the coffee flavor without the stimulant jolt.
Sneaky. I like it.
Right. There's also a maple banana milkshake, gingered baked pears, lots of options. The recipes are genuinely designed to be satisfying and mindful of triggers. It really proves managing GERD doesn't mean deprivation.
That's really encouraging. Okay, and quickly, to make all this deliciousness, you're probably in the right gear. Any essential kitchen tools the plan recommends?
Yeah, it briefly mentions a few key things that just make life easier when you're cooking this way. Good nonstick baking sheets, a couple of sizes, maybe a few different baking pans.
Basics.
Pretty basic.
Okay.
A blender is really useful for smoothies, pureeing soups, sauces. A good cast iron skillet is recommended too. Versatile, naturally nonstick once it's seasoned well.
Love my cast iron.
They're great.
Oh.
And maybe a large Dutch oven or stock pot for making those comforting soups and stews, which are often very reflux-friendly bases for meals.
Got it. Good practical tips. Okay, so to wrap things up, we've really dug deep today into understanding acid reflux and GERD. We've looked at the maybe surprising limitations of common medications, and we've laid out this really comprehensive lifestyle and dietary approach from the Acid Reflux Escape Plan.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like managing this is about way more than just a quick fix.
It really is. It's about, truly understanding how your own body works.
Yeah.
Moving past just temporary Band-Aids.
Yeah.
And making informed, sustainable choices that really support your overall health in the long run.
Right. And maybe here's a final thought for everyone listening to carry forward. Think about how taking these proactive steps, like really understanding your body's unique reactions, maybe tracking those personal food triggers, how that truly empowers you. It lets you rewrite your relationship with food and well-being.
Yeah.
It's not just about symptom control anymore. It's about aiming for real, lasting relief and genuinely reclaiming control over your digestive health and your life.